During the pandemic, Elon Musk's fortune grew from about $29 billion to almost $300 billion. How? I wondered. With everybody canceling plans and working from home, car sales could not have accounted for his gains. The answer, of course, is stocks. People bought an awful lot of stock in Tesla and SpaceX. This got me thinking. Since Musk is so much the face of his companies, buying stock in one of them is really buying stock in the man himself. Besides wanting to share his success financially, people want to be part of this man's epic journey. Until a few weeks ago, where has that journey been headed? Let's see. Electric cars, solar installation companies. One company that controls a third of all internet satellites and plans to launch thousands more. Another aimed at building speedy commuter tunnels under big cities. Is there anybody who is more deeply invested in green energy, in the global information economy, in futuristic visions of urban life? And remember, most of his big accomplishments have been backed by huge government investments and tax incentives. Does this sound to you like a guy who'd be wise to trade his progressive fan base for an army of MAGA bros? But this is what he's doing, isn't it? A recent Pew study showed that 10% of Twitter users write 92% of the tweets, and that they're overwhelmingly Democrat. Stands to reason. In the U.S., Twitter is the favorite platform of journalists, academics, and showbiz types, what we think of as the liberal elite. The kind of people who wouldn't normally fall in love with the billionaire industrialist. But they fell in love with this one, because he was a scientific futurist who made electric cars cool. And now, as Musk prepares to take control of their favorite platform, these educated elites are shaking their heads in disbelief. For them, it's like waking up hungover in bed with a stranger and thinking, who is this person? Hardline Trump conservatives have made him their new hero. 10 million new followers in the last week alone. Somehow, the people who hate government subsidies and don't even believe in man-made global warming are fawning at Elon's feet as he makes his play for Twitter. Why? Because Twitter banned Donald Trump for his statements on and before January 6, 2021. And Elon Musk calls himself a free speech absolutist. It's as simple as that. In response to this love bath from the right, progressives, who are Twitter's lifeblood in the U.S., are heading for the exits in droves. In a related story, Tesla stock dropped 19% in April. It seems to me that if this deal goes through, historians will one day refer to it by this name, Elon's Folly. Let's start the truck and get into it. There's an old saying out there in flyover country, dance with the one that brung you. In other words, only a fool forsakes the people who put him where he is. This applies to politicians, but also to business and entertainment. We've seen a lot of powerful people forgetting this wisdom, haven't we? Star Wars springs to mind. Basically an outer space western with male heroes playing out traditional roles. But the franchise committed slow suicide by getting weird. We've seen this all throughout the age of wokeness. From Gillette razors to theme parks to sports teams. Everybody's forgetting who brought them to the sock hop. Affluent progressives brought Elon Musk to the dance. And the man is now out on the floor letting blue-collar ruffians grope him in front of everybody. Pardon my metaphor. None of us knows how sincere Musk is with his outreach to conservatives. This could be just a cynical business move. He might think that he's tapping into a huge market. That soon there will be Tesla pickup trucks in every red state driveway, plugged into Tesla Powerwalls fed by Tesla solar panels. Yeah, not in this lifetime. Maybe he's genuinely interested in a free speech platform, and he pictures a new Twitter filled with polite, good faith meetings of the mind. That's not going to happen either. Since defying Alameda County and reopening his Tesla plant in the Bay Area, Musk has seemed to court the American right. Like so many other left-leaning intellectuals who filled the podcast universe with unsparing critiques of the woke left, Musk understood that liberal intentions had gotten way out of hand. That progressives in academia and journalism had lost the plot badly, and he said so. And when he did, conservatives flocked to his side. That may have turned his head a little. This is called audience capture. It's happened to a ton of liberals who dared to challenge hard-left narratives. People like Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Scott Adams, and Brett Weinstein. As liberals, they stood up against wokeness, and their progressive followers stopped clicking. Before long, they noticed that their main support was coming from conservatives. Nobody rises faster than a well-known progressive who attacks the left. They guest on Fox News and AM radio, and it's off to the races. It's a heady thing being swept up into a big, warm, conservative bear hug. Ask Tulsi Gabbard. Ask Jordan Peterson, who now finds himself awkwardly positioned as the savior of Christianity. By calling half the country ignorant racists for a few decades, callow Democrats created these conditions. A massive number of Americans starved for a little validation. When a left-leaning YouTuber begins to call out his own, he'll be stung by harsh kiss-off notes from departing left-wingers. And he'll be that much more susceptible to the praise coming in from his new people. They'll call him wise and courageous, and he'll believe it. He'll be embarrassed that he never gave conservatives a chance before, vowing to be more open-minded toward the salt-of-the-earth people of the heartland. His barbs toward the left will get sharper and more frequent. This is a well-worn path. I wandered down it myself 10 years ago as a singer-songwriter posting on Facebook. But the honeymoon doesn't last. As the word gets out, our YouTubers' comments section becomes just another hangout for reactionary trolls. The millions now rushing to Musk's side are on their best behavior for now, but they're not what they seem to be. In reality, they're adrenaline-soaked thrill-seekers tuned into right-wing programming all day, every day. When Elon's new fans think about him fixing Twitter, they fully expect Donald Trump to be back with both guns blazing, owning the libs 24/7. If that happens, progressives will leave Elon's new playground in numbers hard to imagine. Listen, the midterms are looming. Trump is out on the rally circuit playing God, stamping his seal of approval on this or that congressional candidate. His litmus test is as simple as this. Does the candidate think Trump was robbed in 2020 or not? J.D. Vance is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. A former Trump critic, he ended up on bended knee affirming the former president's voter fraud mythology. And Trump handed him the nomination in Ohio. The midterms are heating up as a referendum on Donald Trump. The type of Democrat who has been Twitter's lifeblood is about to rekindle their Trump hate in a big way. Will Elon find himself on the wrong side of the line? Hear this. With the leaked SCOTUS draft regarding Roe v. Wade, we're going to see a very motivated Democrat electorate. I mean motivated like 2020. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene's list of who is expected to be liberated by Elon Musk. Who's at number one? That's who we're really talking about here, isn't it? But if Musk unfreezes that account, he'll see a mass migration of progressives away from not only Twitter, but from all of his companies, both the stocks and the products. I mean, everybody's making electric cars now, and even SpaceX has viable competitors who are not playing footsie with the hard right. Have you heard of Jeff Bezos? Is Twitter irreplaceable? Too big to fail? Maybe. But how long would it take Silicon Valley to whip up a Twitter alternative that would be as tailored to the left as Trump's new platform is tailored to the right? A few weeks? What if Musk doesn't bring Trump back to Twitter? What happens then? Probably a windfall elsewhere, speaking of Truth Social. I've thought about this for 2 weeks. I don't see how this acquisition gets us any closer to a real digital town square, where polite and responsible conversation is the rule rather than the exception. And I don't see a scenario in which Elon Musk doesn't lose. I hate to see it. Musk is a once-in-10 lifetimes black swan. The world needs his creativity, his drive, and frankly, his balls. Let's hope that whatever happens in the next few months will be sorted out quickly. That Musk will take the life lesson to heart and get back to doing what he does best. Amazing and delighting us by doing impossible things while staying the hell out of political shitfights. If so, he'll be forgiven for this lapse. Hey, nobody's perfect. Maybe we'll all look back and laugh good-naturedly at the spring of 2022. And a little thing we all remember as Elon's Folly. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel and then click the little bell to get notifications.